Hope you're doing wonderful today. Got a nice view. Before we get very far, a quick visual descriptor. I have long brown hair, glasses, a black shirt. I have a beaded bracelet, a silver bracelet, coffee mug in hand. Right behind me, there's some trees, and you can see the sun is hitting those trees on one side a lot more than the other. There's a little bench back there, some grass, stone wall. It's really lovely. At least it's really lovely to me. And hopefully it's lovely to you as well. I hope you have some coffee, tea, whatever it may be, whatever gets your day going. I just like this. This is just great. I There's peace, there's happiness, and there's a smile. So we've been talking about expectations, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But just so you're aware, I'm going to be sharing with you a link today to my website and digital gallery where you can get my original art as well as my art prints. Please consider getting some art and supporting the arts. I would appreciate it so much. But on to expectations. Let me have some comfort 1st. Yeah, that makes things nice. You know, when I come outside to do these streams, I have expectations. One of those expectations is the birds, the sound of the flowing water in the distance. I also expect that there's no way to know how good my stream quality is going to be. Definitely there are days where I'm very laggy, where my signal is not that great. And then there's other days where my signal is amazing. And all of this comes through really clearly. Why do I talk about this? Because we have to address what is expected. What are the expectations we have? And what are expectations other people have for us? Now, the first one, we have a lot more control over. And actually, we have a lot of control over the second one, too, depending on how we approach things. But when it comes to what do we expect, well, those are going to really be expectations based off our own learned experiences. What we've done in life, what's happened in the past, it's going to inform what we believe is going to be happening in the future with whatever we are doing now. And there's a lot of viability to our expectations for what's going to happen, what the results are going to be, where we're going to end up. But there's also a lot of possibility for putting too much pressure on an expectation. And that really, again, depends on our own experiences and what we think is going to happen. So, as far as our own expectations, if you write a book, you expect that you're going to tell a story or inform someone on something, but you might have other expectations too. When I released my first book back in was 2013, I actually had an expectation that a lot of people would read it. And that was an unrealistic expectation because, for starters, the marketing was almost non-existent. I had to rely on other people I knew, writers, authors, whatnot, telling people about it. And even then, there wasn't really a huge response or a lot of sales or readership. And because of this lack of sales and readership, I actually felt like that first book did very poorly. Now, in hindsight, I can actually say that the fact that not long after release, I had sales, and I actually had a few reviews very shortly thereafter. Truthfully, it did very well for what it was, especially for a first time published author. And the problem is, because of that learned experience, when I released my next book, I actually expected an even bigger result than I had originally gotten, because I've already published something. And this is not the right way to go about thinking, as it were. So between 2013, I published again somewhere around 2017, and then 2018. I expected a lot more than I got, but I did the exact same things I did the previous time. So the fact that I got less of a response than I did the first time really is because of a combination of what my expectations were and what the work I was doing actually equated to. I wasn't putting enough energy, enough into what I was trying to do. And there's a lesson in this, because of course we can all look at our own lives and think, what's something I did that I expected more from, and then was disappointed with myself when I didn't get that. And what's something that I was disappointed in that, if I look at, actually was successful and did really well. You need to use a lot of hindsight and a lot of self-reflection to understand the balance between our expectations and what actually comes. So, what do we expect from ourselves? It's a really big question. What do you expect from what you do? Maybe you have a live stream show, um, and you expect success from that in some way. The question is, what is that success you expect, and how do you expect that to happen? So this is really an encapsulation of managing the expectations we have for ourselves. It's going to boil down to, what are you doing, and what do you think those results are going to have? And you need to modulate and kind of come to terms with the fact that you can't have a super high expectation, and then when things go wrong, think that you're a disappointment to anyone. That's a hard thing to do. But I'm going to be talking about this subject more, so I'll come back to this on another stream. Next, let's talk about the expectations that others have for us. What do other people expect from us? Now, for all of you out there who are regular viewers, you expect to see me on stream Monday through Friday. It would be 7:30 a.m. my time, but whatever time it is for you, you expect to see me, and you expect to see me somewhere outside. And for some time, you've expected me to be in nature and to talk about art and creativity. But that expectation is, of course, built on a history. And that history is not an easy thing to shake up. So I've built an expectation for you. And the truth is, when it comes to what other people expect from us, we have a lot more control over that than we'd like to think. Those expectations are, of course, again, rooted in learned experience. So no matter what your job is, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you work for some big company, an artist, whatever you might be, whether it's your clients, your customers, your audience, your company, they're going to expect certain things from you. But what is the reasoning for that expectation? What are the reasons to have anyone think they're going to do this particular thing? Now, if it's because of a job, if you signed on to some particular career, well, then you would have had some job description, job duties, etc. So those expectations you've agreed to. So since you've agreed to those expectations, it's reasonable for people to expect those things from you. Now, you can, of course, modulate those expectations from the get-go in an interview, in conversations with the company, and let them know, hey, X, Y, and Z on these job duties, I'm not sure if I can perform to this level, but I can perform to this level. I don't know how well that'll go for you in an interview, but it's honesty, and it also sets up a precedent of you changing the expectations of your future employer or your current employer, changing the expectations up front. Uh, if you are a commission artist and someone says, hey, I'd like to hire you to uh, paint a picture of the tree in outer space, and you let the client who's trying to commission you know, I can do trees, but I'm not sure I can do outer space, or I can definitely do outer space, but I'm not so good at trees. This isn't, of course, a perfect analogy, but you're modulating their expectations right away and letting them know, hey, if I accept this, if we accept this collaboration for this commission, these are the outcomes you reasonably can expect. So I know it's a really long discussion for essentially two things related to expectations, but there's so much more to say about this, and we can extend it to our personal relationships, our family, our hobbies. You know, what are your expectations when you get into a hobby? Do you expect just to do something fun? Because if that is the case, your expectations perfectly reasonable for whatever hobby you're starting. But if other people hear you talk about the hobby and they don't expect much out of you, it can affect the way you feel. But under that set of circumstances, clearly the only person's expectations that matter are your own, because the other people's negativity is just going to bring you down and take away from the joy, which will affect how good you feel about what you're doing. And that's a big theme among expectations. What's expected is it can affect the way we feel about ourselves. Now, we'll talk about this more on further streams and videos that will be coming out, but get yourself an extra cuppa. You 100% deserve an extra cuppa, coffee, tea, whatever it may be. That's really good. Now, before I get going, as I said earlier on, there's going to be a link somewhere nearby for my website and digital gallery. My original artwork, as well as my art prints, are available on my website and in my digital gallery, where you can pick up anything from an abstract painting to variations on my charcoal work, from the serene to the very abstract, the very dark to the very bright, and everywhere in between amongst what I create. Expand your world, add some art to your life. There's probably going to be a piece in there that speaks to you, and if there is, get it. You definitely should have art in your life. Art has a way of changing our perspective, opening up our mind to other possibilities. Plus, there's so much beauty to having something lovely. You put it up on your wall, you put it up in your office, you have it in your living room. Maybe you have some specific space where you just want to be able to enter, and then you see a piece of artwork and you can have a moment to yourself, whatever reflective moment that is for you. But if you go ahead and get one of those pieces, I love it if you shared on your social media of what you got. Let other people know about it. I'm going to be adding more artwork to the website Visual Gallery. And of course, there is a page there where you can go and sign up for my art workshop. The next one is on July 16th, which is Saturday. And in addition, I now have a subscribe function there. So you can become a friend of the gallery. And you go ahead and subscribe and you become a paid subscriber. And with that, there's going to come certain benefits. You're going to get to know what's coming up with my art, my films, my books. You're going to get invited to events and things. So you never know. You never know what benefits might come along. But definitely one of the big things is you're going to be in the know about what is coming. So hop on over, support the arts, and thank you for being here today, enjoying this peaceful little moment with me, and be excellent. Take care. I'll see you all again real soon, okay? Bye, everybody.